Today, Mountain Mafia is excited to bring vehicular violence of the family-friendly variety straight to your living room. This is 100% legit, and these drivers live and breathe this stuff. Mountain Mafia Entertainment has created this to respectfully grow Havoc-style racing and to showcase real hardcore wheeling with some of the gnarliest drivers and most incredibly built custom rigs in the sport. Today is round 2 of event number 5, the Tough Country Mountain Man course. Here are the current standings so far of the Tough Country Mountain Man course, with Leroy Latham in the lead, followed by Jay Cooper and Stephen Montpass. Brett Harrell is on course now, looking to change all of that.
You know, after the buzzer you take off and you come through some tank traps. First 2 weren't too bad. The third one got pretty deep. It's a lot deeper than what I thought it was going to be. And then you come down the hill, you hit a couple like traps again coming down. Come down into a big C-notch corner type deal. It was a lot deeper than what I thought as well. We came out of that, and that's when we really couldn't see much. We come flying up the hill. I remember grabbing a tear off, came into the rocks, and I chose the left line. Last year I took the right line. It kicked me over to the left, almost flopped. We got the front end right at the tree, and I was just going to get it. And mental mistake. I didn't correct my rear steer, and we ended up hooking the tree on the driver's side rear corner. Had to back up and straighten her out. Wooded her, got right back out of it. Came into the second C-notch, and we took the left line on that. We went around the right on the tree and came up the left line because I knew it was just a straight shot through there. Came down and crossed the road, and everybody's making that left corner around everything. We went through the woods just to keep it straight and fast. And you roll through a couple of off-camber traps, get done with that, and come down to the bottom through a bunch of, draws and canyons and whatnot, and, it wasn't too bad. We got towards the end, I come around the loop, and I hit a tree dead center. I couldn't see anything, so it was nothing but steam in my face, and all my tear-offs were gone. I was down to goggles. I almost pulled my goggles off, and anyways, we came out of the bottom end, and I couldn't see anything, and we overshot the buoys. My co-pilot told me that I had to back up and make it through the traps. So anyways, long story short, we had a great run.
Brett Harrell relies heavily on his co-driver to get him over the finish line with the fastest run of the day so far, knocking Latham and Cooper down a notch. He is pumped up and celebrates with a big fat mud donut. We're deep into round 2 of event number 5, the Tough Country Mountain Man course. This is the most challenging event here at Havoc, and since it's worth double points, it's also the most important. Here are brothers Nolan and Tyler Scopel taking their turn in this awesome truggy named Gord. These guys have performed consistently well all weekend long, and if Nolan can stay in control and not overdrive his rig, he has a shot at a great overall finish.
Starting off, it was just stay in the cones and just keep momentum going. Don't try to stop. Obviously we had to reverse a few times, but when you're going bonkers inside your head and you're trying to go through gates, it's sometimes things get a little carried away, but we played it cool. My brother calms me down here and there, so it's a team effort to get to the finish line, and we pulled it off. In the circular loop there, obviously, like I said, I got a broken finger, so I was trying to wheel and deal around the trees there, and the steering wheel kept slipping and fighting with my hand. But other than that, they exit to come out of the trenches up to the flat ground here was the hardest part for me. I just couldn't turn the wheel quick enough and get lined up, so we back and forth a few times, but we made it up. It was awesome. It was a good way to end this event. Was to finish that finish line.
Broken finger and covered in mud, Big Scope is able to cross the finish line, putting him in 5th place. Thanks, guys. We love showing the viewers and fans how these incredible rigs are built and how they work. Rob Neal is on course now to show us what this rear steer monster can actually do.
Oh man, that was an awesome experience. It was. Last year we had some bad luck up in the rocks, and I sat up there the whole time and watched every racer I could go through those. They screwed me once, they ain't gonna do it twice. But yeah, man, all this rain and everything, I thought we were gonna have a lot more trouble, to be perfectly honest. But truck held up, and we put it all on the truck, man. The thing, you know, you work hard building these things, and when they perform, it's not only a huge win for the event, but you know, when you put this much time, money, and effort into something, it really pays off. It's a savage course. It is. It is gnarly, to say the least. The mud, the holes, everything. You know, like we're putting some big trucks through there with some monster tires, and they can hone out a hole real quick. Like I'm losing 53s in holes here. Nothing like it on earth. Absolutely. I'm happy. Yeah, no. It was a goal for me to finish the mountain run, right? Can't win if you flip. And yeah, we ended up going through it quite smoothly, actually. I was pretty impressed myself. So next year I'm coming back, Mountain Havoc 19, man. Absolutely.
That was some great driving from Rob Neal in the Infidel buggy from Canada, putting him in third place on the leaderboard, right up there with Latham and Harrell. Next up is James Peard coming out of Boise, Idaho in his gigantic custom Jeep known as Moose Knuckle. After a massive crash last year in Nevada, he rebuilt this rig and was able to qualify to be here today. Looks like this rebuild is getting the job done.
We kind of got caught with our pants down because the guy in front of us blew an intake with a nitrous backfire, so we weren't ready to go yet. And so we had to do a little bit of scurrying, and then once we got on the run, it was just the game faces were on, and our goal this weekend was just to complete this course, and we actually did it without pulling lines, so we're super excited. A lot of deep mud holes out there, a lot of hard climbs, but the Jeep worked flawlessly. The most challenging portion of the course is keeping calm. You want to get into it, you get that your adrenaline going, and you really want to hammer down, but you got to maintain your composure and just work through each obstacle as it comes. There was one hole that I had to back up and get a couple bumps at just to get out of. It's been undercut super bad all day, and a lot of other rigs have had problems there, but just a couple backups, a little bit of a bump, and we got right out. My crew was awesome. My co-driver and all the guys that helped me get me here, so it was super awesome run. Running my ag tires compared to my Mickey Thompsons, that was a game changer out here. A lot of people who have been running the DOT tires have been having issues all day, but running these ags, I'm getting traction that I didn't expect for before. I plan on coming back to Mountain Havoc once I've earned my spot.
James Peard is able to survive Havoc as he crosses the finish line and is added to the leaderboard in 8th place. Next up is Team Western Canadian Rockwell, Neil Harrison, and Allie Davidson in the famous Boosted Moose. Allie is the only female in Havoc this year, and she has done an excellent job co-driving all weekend long.
The start was pretty easy. It was downhill, so we had momentum working for us. Climbed out of that first hole, got into the rocks. Things were a little unstable through there. Had a little bit of trouble kind of back and forth a little bit. Got over the rocks into the next course. Kind of got a little bit sideways, couldn't tell where we were going. Got real sideways on a steep ledge. Had to back out of it real quick, keep the truck from going over. Got through that, pounded through the big hole, no problem. Made it back through everything else. Did the loop around, climbed up through the hole, and here we are now. So I'd say probably the trickiest part of the course was as soon as we hopped out of that big hole, you wanted to stay right, but everything in that course wanted to take you left. And just with the water and the mud and everything, we kept sliding off, and it was getting real unstable in there. That was probably the point where we just about didn't make it. So, feel great. Glad we finally made it through. It was getting pretty slick and snotty through there, so we were a little uncertain on how things were going to go. Managed to kind of watch everybody else, see what they were doing, pick up a few tips and tricks. Managed to really make it work for us on the last little bit there, the exit out of the gate. Kept our wheels high, kept our wheel speed up, popped over it. Felt a little unstable. We made it. We're here now, so we'll be back next year for Mountain Havoc. Loved it, loved the event, loved the courses, everything. It's great to be here. So,
congratulations, Neil and Allie, for surviving Havoc and finishing the Mountain Man course. They currently sit in 9th place so far. Next up is one of the crowd favorites and known as the Canadian Predator. Here is Kelly Day and his co-driver, the legendary Dave Green. The amount of off-road racing experience between these two exceeds any other team here at Havoc.
At the start, there's one good lip on the left-hand side when just before you head down into that hole. We hit that pretty hard. Thought we might have broken a shaft actually, so I watched the wheel, make sure we didn't. Went down the hole, Didn't get the turn we wanted, but it's so slippery out there today, we just slid right back into the groove, climbed the hill, hung up on the rocks for, I don't know, we had to back up a little bit. I thought a tire was hung up. Dave had a look back, said we weren't, so we pounded her through. Then we got into that big hole up there where some guys that had some issues today, and we stood her right on her ass, straight up and down, jammed her in reverse, backed out. I know Dave wanted to take it a little over, but the way the steering was working, we were just lined up there, so I gave her, we let her settle down, and it managed to pull itself out. And the rest of the course, well, a couple times I thought we were leaning pretty hard, especially when around the tree over there, leaned over pretty good, but just gunned her through and it leveled itself out. And then we took a different line that we'd planned on earlier to climb the hill. It worked out for us and we managed to make it in one pull. Yeah, the most challenging part of the course here today was probably the hole up there and the last quarter of the course around them trees. It was off camber, it was deep, steep, slippery, and we managed to get her through and get her done. The whole place, the way I feel about this place is it's unbelievable. It's the best event I've ever been to in my life. And the courses were hard. You had to be on top of your game at all times. The rain, I love the wet course today. Honestly, I know some guys hate it, but I've loved the slipperiness of it. It's a little more forgiving if you make a mistake. You get that slide like we talked about up there at the beginning. You can get a couple of those, but it can cost you in spots too. But we have the wheel speed to pull the mud.
Congratulations, guys. Thanks for the great weekend. We have more Havoc racing and the current overall leader, Brian Foss, when we return. Final competitor of the weekend and our current overall leader, Brian Foss, in the famous Foss Hog. He has dominated Havoc all weekend long, and the only thing in his way from becoming Havoc champion is the Tough Country Mountain Man course.
I'm just crying inside, but, shouldn't have did what I did, but learn from your mistakes. Hit the corner too tight coming in the Mountain Man. First obstacle, had to shave time. Thought it was a good strategy. I guess not. Ended up upside down, but hey, what do you do? To recover our rig, we tried front pull. It was going too far, pulling forward into the wall. Didn't have enough cable. I didn't have my snot plug, which whatever, I should have. So we tried going through the tube, tried to pull it up on the backside. When I rolled before, it worked, but it's just the angle. The tree wasn't good enough. Yeah, so. And then the winch line broke because synthetic. I should have learned my lesson. I'm gonna change that stuff out right away. This is like the 4th cable. So yeah, that's a learning curve again. I'm stubborn because I like it because it's light and stuff, but no, that's all I can really say. Then I didn't want to disappoint, so I wanted to continue just to do it, show that I'm a good, contender and stuff. And it was awesome. I'm so glad the boys let me do it because we all want to run it. You know what I mean? Dumb mistakes like that. We still want to experience the feeling and getting through it. And, oh yeah, whatever, it was fantastic. I'm glad they let me. Next year, I plan on coming back to knock Larry off his throne because I was close this year. If it wasn't for that, I would have had him. So, put on a good run all weekend. Just needed one more, but that's what it takes,
Too bad for Brian Foss, but that's racing. He killed it all weekend long until the Mountain Man course served him a DNF. He was able to start strong with a huge win in the max tie-down toe test. Then last year's champion Leroy Latham answered back in true monster buggy fashion, capturing the win in the Mountain Mafia's Havoc Hills course, creating a tie between him and Foss. Brian Foss attacks back, triggering the spectators in winning the Amsoil Hill and Hole, taking back the lead. Brett Harrell finally got in his groove and dominated the Warren Winch Rock course with a huge win. The double points Mountain Man course went exactly the same, and Brett was unstoppable. Justin Haft and his driving style earned him the prestigious Badass Award. No surprise there. Brent Harrell captures 3rd place in his first Havoc ever. Leroy Latham takes a respectable 2nd place, showing nothing but love. And Brett Harrell takes 1st place and earns the title of Havoc Champion 2018. Congratulations to all of these competitors. I'm standing here with Brett Harrell, Mountain Havoc 2018 champion. Brett absolutely slayed these courses through the wind, the snow, the rain. Brett, tell us how you did this.
You know, to come here and to take this from a 3-time champ here at Mountain Havoc in Idaho and a 1-time champ up in Canada, it's an amazing feeling. You know, I had to push hard when I could and play it safe in other areas. You know, there's not a lot of strategy in this. It's just drive smart, pick your lines, get it done when you have to, you know, and keep your buggy in one piece.
So it took you 3 tries to take down the champ, but you're not the only champion. Your son Brent took 3rd place in his first Mountain Havoc. Tell us how he did that.
He's calm, cool, collected whenever he drives, whatever buggy he drives. He's a huge help in the shop, and he's earned it.
Seems to me we found the future of the sport. This time it was you that dominated. I cannot wait to see what happens next time. On behalf of the Mountain Mafia, we'll see you all next year. Check us out and stay in touch as we continue to grow and expand Havoc-style racing and vehicular violence. We would like to thank all of our competitors, their teams, the fans, our sponsors, and everyone behind the scenes that make these events happen. Most importantly, our families. On behalf of the Mountain Mafia in North Idaho, we'll see you next time.